Testing. One, two, three. Testing. All right. Okay. Hello, my name is Monica, and I am the Body Electric Supplement. It is here that we supercharge our lives. Um, I didn't mean it to come out like that, so that's why I was like, I'm not the one. It's all of us. But anyway, um, I'm here just to share some notes, and I just, sometimes I like to share with those who are willing to hear me uh talk about some things. Now, recently I was let me roll back some things. So I am definitely going to be expanding and talking more about the other things that I do offer. Speaking of students, clients, and things of that nature, you'll be seeing those things happening hopefully soon. I'm getting caught up on some things and getting past some blocks because I not only do I help others, I go through it as well. We are all on this journey. But as I am, re examining some things and knowing that, it's like, oh, okay, I'm getting some great ideas. Um, I was going through some notebooks and I always, of course, I have endless, speaking of notebooks and journals and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, yeah, okay. So there's something here that I took notes on a while ago, and I've never really followed back up on it. And this, I feel like, would be a great kind of a small topic of a bigger idea. So I help people get to, basically get their things done. So, as a life coach, you kind of have to teach people to stand up for themselves a bit towards others and themselves, because sometimes our biggest enemy is ourselves. And sometimes it's tough love, sometimes it can be gentle, but I mean, I'm not the gentle kind. I try to be, you know, tactful, but it's not going to be hand holding, So one of the things I try to be truthful about is this process of manifestation, right? And I think we live in this world, and I could talk about this as well, where we we've been trained into thinking a certain way about everything. And that even includes like critical thoughts. It's like we've been taught it should be either this or that, when really there's so much nuance and there's so many other conditions that it can't possibly realistically be what a lot of people have aspirations for. Okay, and I say all that to say, when I'm showing people how to manifest, quote unquote, manifest, this really all it is how to achieve your goals, really, you know? And I know people are still like, I still love the word manifest, okay? Because it's truthful. Now, I don't want, I guess, the culture or whomever want to twist this word into something that it's not. It by its definition is saying what, right? If you look it up in a dictionary, it is to bring things into existence, and that exactly what it is, right? So whether you are an engineer or a guru or whatever, so it's that. All right, sorry. So So I want to go over these things. And this actually started when I was still giving music lessons of all things. I had one student, an adult woman, come to me for lessons, and in one of her first lessons with me, she talked, want to pick up this particular instrument and all this stuff. And then she asked me this question, which like it really did strike me, since here we are, years and years later, me remembering it. She asked me, how do you practice? It's like, in on TV and in movies, they make it out to be this thing, this big commitment, this big sacrifice. And I can agree to some of that on some level, that it is a discipline, you know? But then there's actually more nuance, yeah, back to that word, to it. And that's what kind of really started me to start thinking about, how do people learn, and how do people know what they're doing when they're doing, like it really got deep for me. And it was probably one of my next levels, as I talk to people about, like, you find yourself in different realms of consciousness, you know and sometimes different events will bring you into it. Sometimes they're trauma inducing things that happen, and then sometimes there are things, what I guess I would call them epiphanies, where you're just like, oh, and so that one was one for me, where I was like, and I was already a regular school teacher also by that time as well. And I was like, yeah, as I'm teaching kindergarten at the time, and thinking, yeah, we do a lot of work around habits of mind, where like this is how you learn. Learning is like, so that kind of thing. Practice is not just about practice. It's about learning, right? It's about learning to become. It's manifesting. Okay? That is what manifesting is, learning to become. You practice. And so hopefully here now, been kind of long-winded here, but but this is fun. Like I said, I'm on playing around with my notes and playing around with my different devices. So I'm hoping what I have in mind is helping me get to my goals, okay, on how to be successful. Um, and that's basically, yeah, how that works. All right, so let me move some stuff around. I'm getting too silly now. All right, so from my notes, and these are my notes. I don't know if you see any of that. You probably cannot. There's a bunch of Post-its. All right, so there are steps. I want to go through each step and then talk a little bit about them. Okay. So most times, now before I even go through the steps, most times when people are drawn to do something, it's because they're trying to solve a problem. Drawn to do something as in, I'm broke. I have no money for a hamburger. That's a problem, right? So to solve that problem, you go get a job or you go ask someone for some money. So making things come into the thing. So knowing that you're trying to solve a problem. Okay, all right. I kind of jumped the gun a little bit, but it's fine. All right, so step one, you really got to know exactly what you want. So with that example of being hungry, I need food, right? So that's the example. Know exactly what you want to solve this problem. Some people, let me think of a more common problem, or a more common thing people say, oh, I want $1 million. You want $1 million to solve what problem? Pray tell. That is what you're actually needing to want, not the $1 million. Because you can get, and I've used this example, you could have $1 million, but whatever it is you did to get that $1 million will have you behind bars, and you can't use that $1 million. So you really have to ask yourself, what do you really want to solve this problem? Yeah, so it's not the $1 million. Maybe it's the freedom that you really want. Maybe it's the I don't know, the comfort. And I already just finished another video about the safety of having money. There's a safety in that. That is a need that humans have. And yeah, it's know exactly what you want. So beyond just the symbol of the thing, what does that thing get you in the end? And that's what you want. So sometimes a lot of people don't know that, or a lot of times people don't even recognize, like, wait, oh, wow, oh, you're right. You know, and that's that self-awareness that we start to develop, hopefully in these times. So know exactly what it is you want. Okay. And that's that first step. All right. So I like to do notes and post-it style. So as you see now, I could put it in front of you so you can see. So my step 2 in my notes, I wrote, know, understand. Oh yeah, understand the obstacles. Okay, so that's what that meant. Understand what stands in the way of your goal. Okay, so know what it is that's keeping you from what it is that you really want. So back to this $1 million. The $1 million is not exactly what it is you want. What you want is freedom from a 9 to 5 job, probably. You want to retire. So instead of saying, I want the $1 million, you should say, I want to retire right now. So that helps you figure out, okay, so I need to think about how can I retire? How can I get away from the 9 to 5? So that's more of the thing. They're more realistic now, instead of saying I want $1 million. Because I'm going to tell you, more often than not, people, they like to self-sabotage themselves. They know from the moment that they say these words that they're not true. They're just saying them because it sounds good. And that's the biggest heartbreak. But once I start breaking stuff like this down to people, like, wait, you mean I actually want to retire instead of I want the $1 million? And wait, you mean to tell me that I might actually be able to make this happen? Yes. Some people want to break their own hearts because they don't believe in themselves. And this is again the kind of thing I work on with them. So know what that step 2 is. What's in your way? Is it you? Is it financial? Is it, I don't know, like, I don't, so what are the things in the way, and how can you work on trying to get them out of the way? So this is where a lot of times people, if they don't do the step 2 or even barely the step 1, this step 3 is just like, this is what most people think they want right away, when really you got to go and do some homework first. So step 3 is come up with your best guess to solve the problem. So a lot of times, when back to this $1 million, a lot of times people think they just want the $1 million, and then they're looking for the solution of I want $1 million. That's why people Google how can I get $1 million all the time, because they're not thinking about What's going to get in the way of this $1 million? And is that really what I want? What's behind the $1 million? Do you see? So people get side railed wanting step 3 to be step 1. And like I said, you got to start coming up with solutions based on what you learned through the homework first. But most times, this is where it gets a lot of people with um, get rich quick schemes and stuff like that. It's like, oh, well, I heard you can drink this tea and you can lose 20 pounds in a week, and that kind of stuff. So that's kind of where this goes. Where even with food addictions, it's like you were trying to solve a problem that wasn't working. So you jumped to step 3 and trying to lose the weight. You're still back on step 3 looking just for the solution instead of actually doing the homework that it takes to know, how did I get here so I don't go back, you know? So, yeah. So that's step 3. And step 3 can be kind of messy because you're going to have to probably do some trial and error. There's sometimes one thing doesn't work for everybody, right? What may have worked for Susie Q down the street is not going to work for Lucy. Okay. So you got to try some stuff. And this is where a lot of people give up after a couple of things. They're like, well, I'll just, I'm just going to be whatever, 20 pounds bigger anyway. Everybody gets, couple of extra pounds and stuff as you get older. Everybody does. It's like, but that's not true. Not everybody does. So again, back to that hiding away and making it okay to be small when you can't, or you feel like you cannot challenge that inner voice, that inner demon, the little baddie in there, and you tell that little baddie no, you know? So knowing that there's going to be failures, that's why there should be a step 4. And step 4 is to have your plan, run your test. Why did this not work? How can I improve upon this? What can I do next? Instead of, oh, I guess this doesn't work for me. Yeah, maybe put a limit on it for yourself if you really feel like you need to do that. But if it's something that you deeply, passionately want, you really do need to give yourself every single bit of energy you can give to this project that you want. But you really have to know in your heart that that's what you want. Do you see? So that when you do run into those obstacles or new obstacles or bumps in the road, you can just say, you know what? All right, so let's see where we are now. Where are we now? And how are we going to maneuver around this next thing? Because we're still on our way. We're still on our way. And I wish there is a saying that I also wrote down here. It says, failure gives data to figure out what you learned. Okay. So all, life is a science experiment, y'all. It really kind of is. And as much as they try to tell you that we had an instruction manual, it does not. It does not, you know? So how to solve that problem, but you got to know what that problem really is. Okay. All right. So yeah, so like I said, these were my notes. So I'm trying to get, as I know this sounds weird, but I tend to write notes all the time. Like as a writer, even when I was songwriting, um, I tend to just like, I always have paper somewhere. Like, but at the same time, it's like I have paper everywhere. So I'm feeling like this is going to be an interesting way for me to store a lot of my notes and being able to get things worked on a little faster, more streamlined. And that's definitely yeah. So the only obstacle towards being unsuccessful is just stopping. So that's the process of success. Like you're going, like you really gotta be intimate with the problem or whatever the problem is. You gotta be intimate with it and you cannot avoid it. You cannot numb yourself from it. You've got to go in. Okay. Again, I keep confusing Joseph Murphy with James Allen or somebody who's like, it's like the answer you seek is in the darkest cave. It's basically the very thing you're scared of is the thing you need to be doing. Okay. That's basically what it is. It's like you're scared. Ooh, okay, that means you need to go. Go, do it. Do it because you are scared, you know? But yeah. All right. So thank you, thank you. And tell your friends. So yeah, I'll be doing some giveaways. If you stuck with me this long, just know that yeah, I'm gonna be working to build the channel, tell people about what I do. I'm a little nerdy, as you can see. Um, working on a book. I wonder, cat is over there throwing up now, and it gets real. And I'm hoping that yeah, I can find my people. I know you're out there. Stop hiding. All right. And I might like, I don't know, like because I am working on this book, I was trying to decide like, am I going to take on new clients or let the ones I have like have the option or of pausing or limiting time with me. Like there's a lot, like I said, going on here where I kind of want to try new students out, but at the same time, I'm like, I can't devote so much time. Maybe I can have some kind of like, I know there's like some of those give me a coffee sites, those little tip sites. Maybe if I set something up like that, um, I could help people, if they have something that they want me to help them figure out, real quick, nothing too involved. Um, yeah, that might be something to do. All right, so with that, I'm gonna see where my baby kitty is, and I want you to take care of them.